Hello and welcome to Sensodyne Presents In the Spotlight Season 2, powered by Nair in association with Panadol Migraine. My name's Karishma and today we have a guest on the show who proves that dynamites can come in all shapes and sizes. She's a path breaker, a trailblazer, and the first Arab woman to scale many dangerous peaks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet Nelly Attar. Hi, Nelly.
Hi, Karishma.
Nelly, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Karishma, it's lovely to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Now, I read somewhere that you said that movement is your medicine. What did you mean when you say that?
Movement is my fuel for life. I don't know where I would be today if it weren't for movement.
Is that also what brought you to Dubai?
Yes, and it's how I wake up every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's how I close the day.
Yeah.
Movement is my life.
Fantastic. And is there like a preferred form of staying active or is it everything? What is it that you prefer doing?
I mean, there are a number of sports that I practice quite often.
Like?
I love calisthenics, which is the sport on bars, body weight training. I love running.
Mm-hmm.
I love climbing. And I love outdoor sports in general.
Yeah.
And I like simple things like dance and walking. I walk pretty much every day.
You've done some pretty dangerous climbs, really. It's scary to even read about, and you've put up videos and pictures, and we've seen them. Everyone that ends up climbing, these big 14 mountains, especially the really, really popular ones, has a really deep reason, a really deep connection for their journey as well. What's been yours? Why did you get started on this?
I got started with, if we're talking specifically about the 14 peaks,
Mm-hmm.
my first was Everest. And it started because it was a progression. I was climbing a lot leading up to Everest.
Yeah.
And every year it was a bigger challenge, bigger climb, higher mountain.
Yeah.
And the friend that I usually climb with literally suggested, let's go do Everest over dinner.
Yeah.
And this was a year before we ended up doing Everest. And I was thinking at the time, no, you're crazy. We're not ready. We're not prepared.
Yeah.
A year later, we're on Everest.
Yeah.
And that's how my journey started with the 8,000 meter peaks. It wasn't something I was planning for. It was just kind of a natural progression into those mountains. After Everest, I lost my dad, Allah yarhamu, and he was the reason I started climbing.
Yeah.
So that was one of the ways that I coped with my grief. And then that's when I decided to do my second 8,000 meter peak, which was K2. And I think my biggest driver was my dad. And I wanted to make him proud, and I wanted to do something that was even bigger than Everest. So then that was K2. And after K2, I put together a cleanup project to clean up these highest peaks in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been doing. And now this has become part of my work.
I'm so sorry to hear about your dad. I love how you've taken your grief and you've decided to make something out of it. Not everyone's able to do that. I think it takes something quite special to be able to do what you've done.
Thank you.
And they say that it's sometimes therapeutic for some people, or it's just the people like the kick of doing edge of the seat kind of adrenaline pushing activities. Is it a little bit of both for you, or definitely therapeutic?
I still don't have all the answers as to why I go up, because these mountains are very, very dangerous, and it's not always a pleasure being on these mountains.
Yeah.
We face a lot of hardships.
Yeah.
Getting to the climbs can be a big challenge because of the financial impact and toll it takes to be up there. And the climbs, they take such a big toll on your body as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes I find myself questioning, why am I still doing this? But there is a pull to do this, and I think one of the reasons is because I feel so alive when I'm up there. I feel so alive when I'm climbing. You feel a crazy amount of emotions in such a short span of time. you feel everything. You feel pain, love, euphoria, anger, grief. My grief is amplified up there, but then I feel like I continuously work through my grief when I'm climbing. And my creativity is heightened when I'm up there, if I'm happy. If I'm not happy, then it can be really dark when I'm up there. So it's just, the why question, I still don't have an answer to it.
Yeah.
But I think what takes me back up there is my love for being outdoors and my love for doing sports and doing sports with others, because I end up spending so much time with a team.
Have there been any social taboos that you've encountered along the way?
Of course, many.
Really?
In the climbing scene per se, 1 out of 10 are females. So it's mainly a male-dominated sport.
Yeah.
So initially, I remember when I started, I used to, especially because I used to dance and that was my background, I felt like a lot of the male climbers didn't take me seriously and they didn't think I could do it. Which, it makes me even more proud and happy.
So if there was largely a male presence in this area and not many women out there doing this, and you find yourself to be the first, in fact, in the Arab world, were there physical challenges, for example, getting the right kind of gear for your body size, or those kind of challenges that you had to face? Because obviously there were probably more products and more gear available for men than women at that point. Was that ever something that you faced, or anything like it?
Of course. Till today, there's a lot more gear available for men, and most of the gear is tailored towards men.
Yeah.
But there's been a huge
shift,
improvement over the years. I remember when I wanted to get my summit suit, which is what we wear moving really high up on mountains like Everest. It's for -40, like temperatures that are freezing. The sizes were all really big, and then the ones that were a bit petite were not framed for women.
Yes.
My sleeping bag was huge, and the sleeping bag should be to your size because that's the only way that it actually warms you up.
Yeah.
So of course I faced a lot of challenges in that sense, especially since I'm a petite woman. But I've seen a lot of change in that area. More brands are coming up.
Yeah.
Brands are starting to create more gear for women because there's a lot more women coming into the sport in the last 5 years as well.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing also range for petite women, so it's great.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see more and more.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say have been your top 3 climbs and why?
K2, because of its significance to me in that period of my life. I think making it to the top was one of the best days of my life because I made it on top and I felt so strong. I felt like my dad was climbing with me the whole way. And then I made history for the Arab region. I became the first Arab to summit K2.
Were you aware of that?
When I got to the top.
No way.
Yeah, because there were other Arab climbers climbing as well.
Right.
And we were all kind of moving on the same day.
Yeah.
And I was in the zone. I actually lost my guides for an hour and a half because of how fast I was moving. It's hard to describe what I felt that night. I don't know what took over me. I was just moving and moving and moving. We got to the top and it was like just 5 hours in. It usually takes people about 10 hours to get to the top. And then that's when we found out we're the first group. And so that's definitely one of my favorite climbs, as challenging as it was. Another one is in Uganda, Ruwenzori mountain range. They call them the Mountains of the Moon.
Right.
Absolutely stunning. The topography is just incredible. And the Ruwenzori mountain range sits between Uganda, Congo, and Rwanda. So that's one of my favorite experiences. And I think Matterhorn, which is in the Swiss Alps. It's short, sweet, spicy. It's also a very challenging climb. It's the mountain that you see on the Toblerone chocolate.
Yeah.
But it was one of my favorite climbs.
Wow. I mean, I cannot even imagine what would have taken for you to get up there and still have your breath. I remember, we went on one of these trips together with friends and went up one of these Swiss mountains, and I don't think it was very high up, and I completely needed medical assistance and all, because it's not easy going
Altitude.
up that high that quick.
Absolutely.
So kudos to you. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Well, you know what? It takes a lot of courage I mean, the first time I understand, but the fact that you decide to do something like this again, that takes a lot of courage, knowing what you went through the last time. So thank you for sharing that bit of your journey with us. We are going to come back and continue our conversation and take you through some really fun games we've got lined up on the show. But right now, of course, it's time for some very important messages, and we'll be right back right here on In the Spotlight. Welcome back to Sensodyne Presents In the Spotlight Season 2, powered by Nair in association with Panadol Migraine. Nelly, thank you for staying with us. And, we've talked about your journey so far, and you've really given us a 360 understanding of what scaling these peaks could feel like in real life. So you're not really glamorizing it for anyone. You're saying it as it is. I love that. Now, you're also a psychologist, right? And a lot of this is mental strength. A lot of this is about, how much you're able to push yourself. How do you do that? How do you prep yourself mentally, in addition to the physical work that goes into prepping yourself for a climb?
As you train physically, you prepare yourself mentally. As I'm training my body, I'm training my mind.
Right.
They go hand in hand. And one of the things that I used to always tell myself when I would train for hours on a Stairmaster machine, or I'd have to, like tomorrow, I'm waking up at 1 a.m. because it's quite hot and we're running for 5 hours. So one of the things that I would tell myself is suffer now, summit later. But it's those moments that make me stronger. Every time you train and it's hard, it's like you're putting a coin in the bucket of mental strength, And every time you don't give up, you get stronger mentally. And you have to want it so bad. You really have to want it so bad.
Yeah.
The mountains that I felt I really wanted, I felt like I was a lot stronger mentally. The mountains that I just did for the sake of doing them, I wasn't as mentally strong.
Has being on top of these mountains given you a different perspective as far as the environment is concerned?
Of course.
Yeah.
Climate change.
Yeah.
Climate change is real. We're seeing it unfold in front of us. I was on Lhotse Everest this season, just a couple months ago, and I was there 5 years ago. There was a massive difference. 5 years ago, all these campsites were covered in snow. Base camp at 5,300 meters was covered in snow. It was extremely cold. This year it was mainly rocky. And the Khumbu Icefall, the most dangerous section in this region, going up to Camp 1, so like it's between 5,300 meters and 5,900 meters. 5 years ago, it was snow.
Yeah.
This year, there's a lot of waterfall. So soon it's not going to be Khumbu Icefall, it's going to be Khumbu Waterfall. It's really crazy to see. Even up at nearly 8,000 meters, I saw a bird. No life survives up there. How is there a bird? There was a bird eating out of her tent.
Wow.
So it's just crazy to see how these things are changing. We're witnessing this. A lot of these mountains are becoming super dangerous as well because the snow is melting. There's a lot more rockfall now. On K2, there was so much rockfall. So besides the altitude and the avalanche risk because snow is melting, and the crevasses, which are cracks in the snow, there was a lot of rockfall that we had to look out for because if a rock hits you, you could die.
Yeah.
So this is part of what we have to navigate through, and we're seeing it unfold in front of us.
Wow. That's a lot to take in for me. But it's amazing the journey you've had, Nelly. I know you also mentioned that you've had a dance studio for 5 years. How dance is very close to your heart. Have you completely given up on it, or are you still taking time out for it?
I love dance, and the reason why I fell in love with movement was because of dance.
Yeah.
All my life I've been dancing, and I would have never thought in my wildest dream that I would be opening up Saudi's first dance studio.
Wow.
But I just, I ended up closing that chapter because it made sense at the time. I do think I'll go back to that one day.
Yeah.
Dance still happens in my life.
Yeah.
Dance is a form of expression. So although I don't go to formal classes, although I don't dance as often with people, whenever I'm in my room and I feel good, I dance. Whenever I'm actually down and I try to pick myself back up, I dance. So it's still very much part of my life in a way.
Well, I like that. And you know what? We're going to be talking to you about your love for dance and your love for climbing in the games we've got lined up for you next. So are you feeling sporty now?
Yeah, I'm feeling excited. I'm a bit nervous too.
All right, let's get ready then. All right, Nelly, this is it. It's game time. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to quiz you on some things that we feel might be, cakewalk for you. You've already, done enough research, right? When you've decided whether you want to scale and conquer a peak or not. So you know what most of these peaks feel like and look like, but can you identify them?
Uh-oh.
If we showed you some aerial shots, that is the question.
We'll see.
Are you feeling nervous? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready for this.
All right.
I hope I don't fail at this.
All right. I think you'll do really well. I'll give you a little secret as well when we're playing the game. But right now, the first game we're playing with you is called Top of the World.
Oh, okay.
Take a look at these pictures now. You're going to be identifying the peaks based on aerial shots.
Oh, man. I don't know. I actually don't know.
If you had to guess, what would you go with? Anything.
Is this one of the 14 highest peaks in the world?
You know what? It might be.
Because there's
thousands
and thousands of mountains.
But I'll tell you this much. It actually is one of the most photographed mountain scenes that you would have seen.
Is this in the Alps?
You're very, very close.
This can't be the
It's the French Alps, yeah.
Oh, I climb Mont Blanc, so I
so
should
you,
know.
yeah.
Okay.
Well done. All right, proud of you. Next up, what do you reckon?
Is this in the Himalayas?
Not quite.
Alps again?
Mm-mm.
Pakistan? Oh, no.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Let's go to the next one now. Okay, all right. This is a good one.
This looks like it's either in Antarctica, am I
Close.
close? Or
Well,
Alaska?
One of the poles, you're close.
North Pole?
Well, so let's bring it up on the screen.
South Pole.
It's-
Oh, no, Greenland.
Let me tell you something about this picture. This is an aerial shot flying 30,000 feet above Greenland that my husband actually took while he was flying above
Greenland.
Yep.
Okay.
So we play this game at home very often, by the way, where he'll show us aerial pictures of countries and that he's taken, and that's it. We'll just sit and guess.
I should do this because I actually find it really hard to be able to identify the peaks.
Yeah.
Even after we've climbed them.
Yeah.
I just find it really hard to know which one was the peak.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for me personally, they all sometimes look very similar.
Yeah.
So this could be a good game for me.
Yeah, it might. You should try it at home. All right, let's move to the next one. Okay.
Oh, man.
This is not tough.
This is tough. Is this in the Rockies?
No.
Where is this?
All right, okay. It's where everyone should go to and ends up going to on holiday.
Machu Picchu?
No, but yeah, Southern Hemisphere, beautiful place, and you must go there once at least in your lifetime. That's what I've always been told.
Oh my God, okay. Okay, good to know that that's what it looks like.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, let's move to the next one. Okay.
Okay, this looks like it's in the Himalayas.
You know what? You're absolutely right because it is. Oh.
Okay. K2. I should know that this is K2. See, I wasn't lying. I can't really tell what they are.
I'm sorry, yeah, K2. This one is. It's another shot actually that my husband's taken. And yeah, there it is. There it is.
Is this K2 or Nanga Parbat?
This is K2.
Okay.
Yeah. So you actually went up that high, huh?
Yeah. I was like.
You were a tiny dot.
Invisible, yeah.
Oh my goodness me. All right, let's move to the next one.
Oh my God, I'm miserably failing at this game.
Hey, you did the important thing, which is actually scaling these. All right, what do you think now?
Is this still in the Karakoram?
Let's see, what is the answer? I know it's in the US. Yeah, there we go.
I said Rocky Mountains before.
Yeah.
So just switch the answer over, please.
We're going to give it to you, don't worry. Yeah, that's our game. You did really well, actually. Can I tell you, it's really hard because it's really hard, and even the most, well-versed people are not able to get these always right. Because what happens is when you're on land, the view is completely different, and when you're aerial, it's a whole
Yes.
different scene that you're looking at, right?
And then most of these mountains, to be fair, I haven't climbed.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to these areas.
Yeah.
But K2 I should have known.
All right, are you ready for the next game now?
I hope I don't fail as miserably. Let's go.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little break so Nelly can take a little breather as well, and we'll come back when she's feeling like she's really got this. I think you did really well. You're too hard on yourself.
Thanks.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Sensodyne Presents In the Spotlight Season 2, powered by Nair in association with Panadol Migraine. All right, Nelly, we have one more challenge up for you now. We've obviously heard all about your interest in adventure and in getting out there and breathing that mountain air, right? Now, something that makes you just as happy, all right, or maybe just second, to that is dancing, is what we've also heard.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what dance forms are your favorite?
I mean, I love dance in general. I used to really like Afrobeats.
Yeah.
I loved just experimenting and exploring with dance.
Yeah.
Not one specific dance genre.
Have you ever watched any Bollywood dances and liked them? Which
I've done
one?
some classes.
Oh, which song do you know?
I mean, I was just telling you guys I like Chama Chama, but I haven't danced to Chama Chama. I don't remember the names of the songs, but there's some really popular Indian songs.
Yeah.
And we did some like theatrical dances to
Nice,
them.
nice.
When I had a dance studio.
Okay.
That's all I really remember.
All right, okay. Well, next up, we're hoping that this is going to be a memorable challenge for you because it's the Step Up Challenge. We've got pictures of different dance forms, some videos, some pictures. We want to see if you're able to identify them.
Okay, I hope
when
I'm
you
better
see
at
them.
this game. Let's see. Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, let's take the Step Up Challenge. This one's fairly simple.
Is this from Argentina? Tango?
It's Spanish and it is the flamenco. Yeah.
Similar. Okay.
Yes. All right. We'll give it to you. Next up. Oh, yeah.
Of course, Dabke.
Yes, you're right. That is it.
And there's Iraqi, Jordanian, Lebanese, Syrian, Palestinian.
Yep. Have you
And
ever been part of the dabke?
I mean, we do it in weddings, and of course, I've attended a few classes. It's actually quite strenuous, but it's amazing.
It's great to watch. What synchronization. All right, let's move to the next one. Speaking of high energy and tiring dances, what is this one?
Bollywood dancing? But I can't recognize the attire. That doesn't look Bollywood.
It's in the north of India, and this is the Bhangra.
Oh, no way.
You know, the one with the shoulders and the fingers?
Okay,
All right, what do you think this is?
Irish dancing.
You're absolutely right. That's what it is. Yep.
Okay.
Have you tried it?
Yes, and we've
Fun?
done some classes to it too.
Nice.
Oh, okay. This is popping and locking.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, popping and locking.
Yeah, you got it. Well done.
Okay, better than
You know your moves.
okay.
That is done.
Oh,
Well done.
this guy is quite famous.
Is he
Okay.
now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Do you follow a lot of dancers on your social media?
I used to, and I used to love So You Think You Can Dance.
Yes.
That was my favorite show. That was the only show that I can actually focus on.
Yeah.
This has inspired me to go back to dance. Yeah.
I think you're going to end up watching some more of these tonight. All right, we have another game for you, Nelly, right
Let's
now.
go.
And this one is me throwing some words at you. It's called This or That.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 options. You've got to pick the one that you prefer more.
Okay.
Now, the idea with the words we've got for you is which is going to get your adrenaline pumping more.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so which one of these is going to give you that big rush? Base jump from the top of Burj Khalifa versus tightrope walk between the peaks without a harness.
Like a slack line?
Yeah.
So I'm walking on the line.
Yeah.
Without a harness.
Without a harness.
Of course, that's going to get my heart rate move. Because, I mean, that is a longer process, so I'm
Yeah.
going to be anxious for longer.
So
but I
that
like
one.
The base jump off.
So the
Burj Khalifa.
tightrope walk or jungle safari barefoot with wild animals.
Tightrope walk. I have a fear of heights.
Tightrope walk or swimming with sharks.
Tightrope walk.
Tightrope walk or downhill biking.
Tightrope walk.
Tightrope walk or luging down a steep mountain slope.
Tightrope walk without a harness, right? I mean, you will die if you make a mistake, and I will make a mistake. So we're still on.
We're sticking to that one. All right. Tightrope walk versus snowboarding with a parachute.
Tightrope walk.
Still, yes. I'm with you on this so far. Tightrope walk versus climbing Everest.
Tightrope walk. Without a harness. If there's a harness, it's a different story.
Okay, tightrope walk with a harness.
Okay.
Or climbing K2.
Tightrope walk.
All right. Tightrope walk or traversing the North Pole with polar bears, hungry polar bears.
I'd love to traverse the North Pole, so we're still on the rope.
All right, okay. All right. Tightrope walk. All right.
With or without a harness?
With a harness.
Okay.
Or dancing to Chama Chama with the biggest stars of Bollywood.
I think dancing to Chama Chama.
Yes. Finally got you off that tightrope.
Yes.
You played well. You played well. I'd do the same exact. I'd have the same choices. Thank you so much, Nelly. It's been fun getting to know you and your interests. And honestly, I feel so inspired. And, I am 7 months pregnant. But yeah, I feel like in a few years, I want to be where you are. And I hope that you continue to inspire people just like this always.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And this has been really fun. So thank you.
My pleasure. We really hope you enjoyed being on the show, Nelly.
Yes, totally. And I'm inspired to get back to dance. I want to go and dance right now.
All right. We're going to let Nelly get back to her favorite moves. Meanwhile, of course, aapke liye hum lautenge next week right here on In the Spotlight. So do keep watching.